Why the problem with Canada's economy? Are we too dependent on immigration? Welcome to Canada, the second largest country in the world, where stunning landscapes meet complex economic realities. From its towering mountains to its bustling cities, Canada's story is one of opportunity, resilience, and dependence. But what happens when that dependence is tested? Canada is not just defined by its breathtaking geography, it's a nation strategically positioned at the heart of North America, sharing the world's longest undefended border with the United States. Despite its massive size, did you know that nearly 80% of Canadians live within just 100 miles of the US border? This unique geographical and population dynamic has shaped Canada's economy and society in fascinating ways. But as we dig deeper, a critical question emerges. Is Canada too reliant on immigration to drive its economic engine? Let's explore the opportunities, challenges, and the future of this incredible economic overview. Canada's geography is as vast as it is diverse. Stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific and reaching into the Arctic, it's one of the few nations bordered by 3 oceans. This geographical advantage positions Canada as a global gateway for trade and international relations. But perhaps what's even more remarkable is the unique border it shares with its southern neighbor, the United States. At 8,891 kilometers, 5,525 miles, it's the longest international border in the world, a testament to the close relationship between these two nations. Despite being the second largest country on Earth, Canada's population is surprisingly concentrated. About 80% of Canadians live within just 100 miles of the US border. Why? Proximity to economic hubs, milder climates compared to the Northern Territories, and access to cross-border trade opportunities make this region an attractive place to settle. Ontario, often considered the economic engine of Canada, underscores this trend. Home to bustling cities like Toronto and Ottawa, the province accounts for a staggering 38% of Canada's GDP. Major industries such as real estate, manufacturing, and mining thrive here, fueled by a concentration of talent, infrastructure, and investment. This economic clustering highlights the vital role geography plays in shaping not only where Canadians live, but also how they contribute to the national economy. Canada's housing market has been a roller coaster of growth and challenges, capturing the attention of economists, homeowners, and prospective buyers alike. Since the 2008 financial crisis, house prices in Canada have more than doubled, driven by a mix of economic factors. Historically low interest rates encouraged borrowing, while government stimulus programs supported economic recovery, fueling an unprecedented housing boom. This surge in prices turned homeownership into a symbol of wealth and stability for many Canadians. However, the market isn't without its challenges. Rising interest rates, implemented to curb inflation, have begun to soften housing prices in some regions. For many, this signals a much-needed correction in an overheated market, but it's a double-edged sword. Higher rates make mortgages less affordable, pushing homeownership further out of reach for first-time buyers. At the same time, Canada's reliance on immigration to fuel its economy has created a surge in rental demand. With newcomers flocking to major cities, the supply of affordable housing has struggled to keep pace. This has left many Canadians feeling shut out of the market. A recent survey revealed that 63% of non-homeowners believe owning a home is unattainable. This growing sentiment reflects the deepening divide between those who can afford property and those who are left navigating an increasingly competitive rental landscape. As Canada seeks solutions to its housing challenges, the balance between affordability, supply, and economic growth remains a key issue shaping the nation's housing investment. Canada's economy faces a critical imbalance in how wealth is allocated, a heavy emphasis on housing investment at the expense of business development. Housing now accounts for a staggering 22% of the nation's wealth, a reflection of Canadians' deep prioritization of real estate as a cornerstone of financial security. While this focus has created significant individual and generational wealth, it raises concerns about the broader implications for the country's economic future. The dominance of housing investment has contributed to a noticeable decline in business investment. This trend has repercussions that ripple throughout the economy. Lower levels of business investment hinder job creation, slowing the development of industries that drive innovation and economic resilience. For example, Compared to other developed nations, Canada lags in fostering homegrown technology and manufacturing sectors that could diversify its economic base. This imbalance also highlights Canada's reliance on foreign direct investment, FDI, to compensate for domestic shortcomings. Much of this FDI comes from the United States, underscoring Canada's economic interconnectedness with its southern neighbor. While FDI is essential to supporting industries like energy, technology, and infrastructure, it also makes the economy vulnerable to external shocks and policy shifts from abroad. To secure long-term prosperity, Canada must find ways to recalibrate this imbalance. Encouraging policies that spur business investment, such as tax incentives, infrastructure funding, and support for entrepreneurship, will help strengthen the economy beyond the housing market. Without this shift, the nation risks becoming overly dependent on real estate, a sector that, while essential, cannot sustain the full spectrum of economic growth, the productivity and income gap. When comparing Canada to its southern neighbor, the economic disparities are striking. Canadians earn, on average, 33% less than their American counterparts, and the productivity gap is equally concerning. While U.S. workers produce significantly more value, approximately $17 more per hour, the Canadian economy struggles to keep pace. This disparity affects not only individual incomes, but also the broader competitiveness of the Canadian economy on a global scale. One major contributor to this gap is lower investment in critical areas like tools, technology, and research and development, R&D. Businesses in the United States often invest heavily in automation, digital infrastructure, and advanced manufacturing, giving American workers the tools they need to produce more efficiently. In contrast, Canadian industries lag in adopting cutting-edge technologies, leaving workers with fewer resources to maximize productivity. The brain drain phenomenon further exacerbates the issue. Many of Canada's most talented professionals, especially in tech, medicine, and engineering, are drawn to the United States by higher salaries, better career opportunities, and a thriving innovation ecosystem. This migration of talent leaves Canada struggling to cultivate and retain the expertise needed to drive economic growth. Addressing these challenges will require a shift in priorities. Canada must invest in fostering homegrown talent and innovation, while also creating incentives for businesses to modernize and compete globally. Without such changes, the productivity and income gap with the U.S. will continue to widen, limiting Canada's resource-based economy. Canada's economy has long been characterized by its abundant natural resources, which remain a cornerstone of its GDP and export portfolio. The energy sector, particularly oil and natural gas, contributes significantly to Canada's wealth, with Alberta playing a pivotal role. Other major exports include vehicles and lumber, which have historically bolstered the country's economic output. However, in recent years, the production of oil and vehicles has seen a decline due to market fluctuations, global shifts toward renewable energy, and increased competition in manufacturing. This has raised concerns about over-reliance on resource-based industries. On the other hand, Canada's services sector has emerged as a growth engine, driving the economy in new directions. Financial services and real estate have experienced robust expansion, particularly in urban centers. Toronto, in particular, has solidified its status as a rising financial hub, home to major banks, insurance companies, and the Toronto Stock Exchange, one of the largest in the world. This diversification has helped Canada mitigate some of the vulnerabilities tied to its natural resource dependency. While the resource-based economy still underpins Canada's economic identity, the growth of the services sector demonstrates a promising pivot. By continuing to invest in financial services, technology, and innovation, Canada can reduce its reliance on volatile resource markets and build a more resilient economy for the future. One of the key pillars of Canada's economic strength is its banking system, widely recognized as one of the soundest and most stable in the world. Canadian banks such as RBC, TD, and Scotiabank consistently rank among the top global financial institutions, boasting strong capital reserves, conservative lending practices, and robust regulatory oversight. This stability has allowed the country to weather global economic downturns with relative ease. During the 2008 financial crisis, for example, Canada's banking system remained largely unscathed, while many other countries experienced significant financial turmoil. This global recognition has bolstered investor confidence and positioned Canada as a reliable destination for both domestic and foreign investments. Beyond the banking system, Canada benefits from several other structural strengths that contribute to its economic resilience. The country enjoys a stable democracy with strong rule of law, ensuring a predictable business environment. Low levels of corruption and a transparent legal framework help foster trust among entrepreneurs, investors, and the global business community. Additionally, Canada's consistent adherence to international trade agreements and partnerships, such as NAFTA, now USMCA, provides economic stability and access to global markets. These factors, coupled with a highly educated workforce and the country's proximity to the U.S. market, contribute to high levels of confidence in Canada's business environment. As the world continues to face economic challenges, Canada's stability, political maturity, and financial soundness remain significant strengths that position it as an attractive hub for both business and Canada's investment. Economy is built on a strong foundation of stability, a reliable banking system, and a growing services sector, particularly in finance and real estate. These strengths, combined with Canada's political stability and business-friendly environment, make it an attractive destination for investment and a competitive player on the global stage. However, the country faces persistent challenges, including its reliance on natural resources, low levels of innovation, and a growing income disparity. The nation's economic future will depend on how well it addresses these issues and shifts toward more sustainable, diversified growth. What do you think Canada should focus on to strengthen its economy? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinions on how Canada can overcome its economic hurdles and build a prosperous future for all.